Welcome to another RSR. Tonight I'm reviewing CF Cruz Azul 1, CF Monterrey 2, 2-2 on aggregate. Cruz Azul advances on seeding in the Liga MX Clausura Semifinals Leg 2. They get through by the skin of their teeth by inches in one play. One half of good attacking football, three halves of parking the bus. Barely good enough. We'll get there. CF Cruz Azul 1, CF Monterrey 2, 2-2 global. Cruz Azul avanzar a las posiciones en la tabla. En la Liga MX Clausura Semifinales, partido vuelta. They got lucky. They got lucky. Pretty much. Goals were scored as follows. Halftime, it was 0-0. 1-0 on aggregate. Medio tiempo, 0-0 esta noche. 1-0 global. Cruz Azul leading at the half on aggregate. On the night, a draw. Both teams had some really good offensive chances. I think this was probably the second best offensive half Cruz Azul had in the tournament, in the playoff. Because, let me be totally honest, they didn't score. They didn't get dominated like they did the second half of the first leg or the second leg. So, best offensive half, second best offensive half they had. Good couple of chances, all of them saved by Andrada. Meyer made some really good saves on Monterrey as well. Pretty even half. I think it was a fair 0-0 draw throughout 45. But they started Brandon Vasquez. They pull him at the half for Rodrigo Aguirre. They bring on Tecatito as well, which for Mesa wasn't such a bad idea, I gotta say, overall. Goals in the second half were scored as follows. In the 61st minute, Angel Sepulveda scores. Huescas plays him in. Sepulveda taps it in. Andrada can't get there. He's just inches away again from saving a good, clear goal. But Sepulveda pops it in, makes it 1-0 in the 61st minute. 2-0 on aggregate. 1-0 esta noche. 2-0 global. And God knows they needed that goal. And you wouldn't know just how much they needed it. We thought it was a dagger at the moment. But 8 minutes later, Herman Berterame scores. Ball lofted up in the air. He sticks out his foot to tap it into the net past Meyer. They needed that goal. They got it. It was 1-1. And Monterrey are still alive with 22 minutes left. They are still alive. 1-1 on the night, 2-1 on aggregate. 1-1 esta noche, 2-1 global. They're still alive. Berterame with his first of the night. Then 74th minute, he gets another ball played into him. Able to score. Easy chance for him. You give him that chance, he's going to put it away at the near post. To him, far post for the cross. Berterame pops it in past Meyer and makes it 1-2 in the 74th minute. 2-2, 2-2 aggregate. 2-2 global. 1-2 esta noche. 2-2 global. Cruz Azul, líder de posiciones. They lead on seeding as of this moment. Cruz Azul does. But they can't allow a goal in the next 16 minutes plus stoppage time, or they get eliminated unless they would have scored another goal. But guess what? They don't allow another goal. They park the bus horribly in the second half. Monterrey gets the momentum back. They still don't find a third. At the end of the day, full time, it is 1-2 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate. Cruz Azul advances on seeding. 1-2 esta noche, 2-2 global. Cruz Azul avanzar a la gran final de las posiciones en la tabla. They get there. They get there by the skin of their teeth. They play a horrible 3 halves after the amazing first half they played on the road and thought 2 goals was enough. Luckily for them, it was. Stats are as follows. 9 shots to 15. 5 shots on goal to 6. 31% possession to 61% possession. 259 passes to 563. 68% pass accuracy to 84%. 8 fouls to 14. 0 offside to 0. 1 yellow card to 4. 0 red cards to 0. 1 corner to 5. Now, I gotta give a reality check here. If you're a Cruz Azul fan, you cannot be happy about this result. Honestly, you can't. Yes, you made the final, but let me be completely and utterly honest here. You played 3 horrible halves of football. Barely any offensive football. You should have scored more than 1 goal in the first half of the first leg. That is true, but you only scored 1, and it barely got past Andrada's hands. That could have easily been a save. But it curls in just far enough to get into the net. Okay, that's 1. Second of, you score against the run of play. Westgas creates a great play that Sepulveda finds in there. And again, speaking of inches, Andrada is inches away from saving that goal too. You are legitimately inches away from not even being in the final, the way you played this second leg. Legitimately. You are inches and against a run of play from being away in the final, or being in the final. Honestly, we could just say inches, because honestly, Andrada should have saved both of those. The fact he couldn't reach either of them is crazy. It's absolutely crazy that he couldn't reach either of them. And it makes me wonder, does Cruz Azul really have a chance? They played the best football in the quarterfinals. They played the best football going into the first leg, going into halftime of this tie. Well, halftime of the first leg of this tie. Ever since then, they've been parking the bus completely. They got lucky. They got lucky that Monterrey did not score in Monterrey. I told you Monterrey was going to regret missing that last second goal. That Meyer letting that ball go through his hands and off the post was going to matter. Guess what? It did. That ball goes in, you're out. The 2 goals that they scored would have knocked you out. Again, inches. This was a tie of inches. Cruz Azul got off scot-free into the final by inches. 3 times by inches. Legitimately. The ball goes off the post because it goes through Meyer's hands. Andrada can't make 2 saves that he really should have got to. He was only 3 inches away from. No joke. Like, legitimately. Cruz Azul got through by luck. They damn near blew this game. They damn near blew this tie. They should have lost this tie 3-2. Either or. Whether it was the goal at BBVA that should have went in or Monterrey should have found a third, I'm surprised they didn't. Cruz Azul was lucky to be through here. They legitimately parked the bus for 3 halves and said, yeah, that's fine, that'll work. You're stupid. It didn't work. You legitimately said, you know what? Yeah, we'll park the bus for 3 halves out of 4. What? 90, 100, 10, 20, 135 minutes you said you parked the bus for. And luckily for you, you made the final. But America's not playing well right now. Here's the problem. Cruz Azul doesn't look as great as they did going into this tie. Hell, going into halftime of this tie. Man, you should have lost. You got through by the skin of your teeth. You suffered your way through this semifinal. And my Lord, Anselmi is a magician, I guess. I mean, he is. But the fact that that worked out, he pulled a rabbit out of the hat. He is legitimately a magician. Tano Ortiz is going to get fired by Monterrey. I guarantee you. And should he? After tonight? No. He did make some horrible substitution decisions, but guess what? Monterrey legitimately should have won this tie outright. They should have won tonight or won overall. And it's, I guess, sort of his fault for starting Luis Romo and not starting Cortizo in the first leg and then pulling Cortizo in the second leg at the 69th minute. I guess so, but if you're going to blame him to fire him for something, if you're Monterrey, I don't think after tonight they're blaming this one on Tano. Yeah, they lost the semifinal. Yeah, they're still Pecho Frios, but they honestly damn near pulled it back. I don't think you can blame Monterrey for this one. You just got to blame the dark arts and blame Magic for this one if you're a Monterrey fan. If you want to fire Tano, you pretty much have to say, hey, we're blaming you for the Columbus match and we couldn't fire you before the playoffs because Turco Muhammad didn't pick up our calls and we got enough good players we could have won with you to win the league. We trusted you enough to do that. You didn't. But we should have fired you after Columbus. But again, it was a week left in the regular season. Turco wasn't taking our calls. You were doing good enough with us in the league. Might as well keep you. They got to blame the Columbus match on him and say it was unfeasible to fire him 3 weeks ago after the Columbus match. It wasn't a smart play. And when Turco didn't take our calls, we kept him. But now, really what's getting him fired is the Columbus match, not this semifinal. That's what you have to do, because if you're going to fire him and say it was tonight, you're crazy. If you're going to fire him and say it was the overall tenure of his career at Rayados and not winning a semifinal, fair. Blame the Columbus game on him. Say, yeah, that happened 3 weeks ago, but it just wasn't smart to fire him then, especially after Turco said no. Hell, you could say that and throw Turco under the bus if you want to, if they called him or not. Could have been an easy answer. He probably would have said, if he did take the call, he probably would have said yes. Probably why you wouldn't throw him under the bus. But either way, Monterrey, I mean, Turco's done. He's got to be. Or not Turco, but Tano. Turco might just be back. Tano is done. Tano is done. He's got to be. And it kind of sucks because it's not really his fault tonight. Columbus was his fault. Nashville was his fault. Let It Go San Luis was his fault. This one wasn't. More or less. It was just, nothing went their way. They were very unlucky in this tie. And they still damn near pulled it back. What can you do? Man of the match is Herman Berterame. Legitimately. He was the one who damn near pulled this one back for Rayados. He scored 2 goals. Probably the best player on the pitch. Yeah, Berterame's man of the match tonight, even though his team lost. Can't really be anybody else. With that being said, Cruz Azul, you got lucky. You didn't bottle it completely, but you damn near did, and you should be disgusted, even though you're going to the final. You should be very disgusted with the performance and the fact you're going to the final like this. We'll see what happens next week. I hope you win, but you definitely don't have me hopeful for you after this. Monterrey, the Tano era's got to be over. Simple. Even though he doesn't really deserve it tonight, but it is what it is, I guess. Jesus Christ. Y'all were unlucky in this tie. Y'all deserved more than this. With that being said, though, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe, and know what it is. Tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification once subscribed, send super chats on the live streams, comment on this video, put us in playlist, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. I will see you on Tuesday for a live watch-along and review of Toronto FC versus CS Saint Laurent in the second leg of the quarterfinals of the Canadian Championship. I'll see you then. I'll be live on Wednesday for the Europa League final and Forge versus Montreal, or Montreal versus Forge. I think I will be doing it. But there you go. So that's that. I'll be back Thursday for Liga MX's final first leg. Friday off. Saturday, Toronto versus Cincinnati. Sunday, the second leg. Oh, and the DFB Pokal final on Saturday. Sunday, I'll be back for the second leg of the Liga MX's final. America versus Cruz Azul. And there you go. That's what the next week looks like. With that being said, congratulations, Felicidades Cruz Azul. Commiserations, Monterrey. And there you go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace. See ya.